Three. Hi everyone, it's Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk, and we have episode interview number 13 with Tom Althouse. Number 13, Tom. And we got
How lucky is that?
woo! How you doing, guys?
Good, Chad. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys look great. I like dressing up for these.
I do too.
Yeah. So this morning I was making a quick breakfast and I thought, well, what are we going to talk about today? You know, I really don't have anything planned, but the word cerulean came, and cerulean is kind of like this kind of blue, and it talks about like what kind of psychic powers we have, and basically let me read it here. You can look up cerulean. It's a cerulean bloodline. We have the power of suggestion. So let me just read it here. It says, some cerulean bloods have extremely powerful mind control. They can control most trolls lower of the hemispectrum from seemingly any distance, even outside the universe. So why do you think they want to get rid of us, guys? Then we have biomancy. Biomancy. Where are we? What does it mean? I know I took a screenshot. Biomancy is a higher science in COI, that encompasses biology and chemistry with all its potential medical applications. They are the doctors, right? We are the doctors, the chemists, naturalists, right?
Yeah.
And then we have divination. We can tell things. Pyromancy. Let's see, what is pyromancy? Pyromancy is the act of attempting to tell the future using fire. But we really don't need fire, right? Because we just zone into our heart space and what is it for this person? You know, we don't even need tarot cards. Some people believe that the ancient Greeks performed pyromancy. But I do love looking at the fire because it does have the little dancing figures, and they do tell you things like words and phrases, and you can hear things too. Don't dabble in pyromancy, they say, if you know what's good for you. Pyromancy is a very old-fashioned kind of divination or fortune telling. The only reason why I think they say that is because a lot of people will take advantage. This is what this world is, you know, the black and white, the chess game here on Earth. They need the game to continue. So we have to be very careful who we help. The other day, I just had someone that I was helping online. She said, hey, can you please put a curse on my husband's girlfriend because I want her out of the picture. And I said, no, I will not. Because if I do that, they can take a son or a daughter of mine or a grandkid when they come. I said, I'm not going to do those things. So that's when you got to be careful with that. Okay, I'm going to start sharing. What do you guys think about that? Your turn.
Wow. Well, the whole screenplay came like that. It just came through all those things and it keeps being proven true. So yeah. And I think all our interactions are meant to be. And it's just like, can't explain how we all got together, but I'm glad we did. And the visions are good. So
Me too.
Yeah, I think your eyeshadow is that color.
Oh, thank you. The blue. Wow, I didn't even
Yeah,
think
there's
about it. So I'm just like,
yeah. There's a lake in Utah called Bear Lake that has that color as well. It's quite beautiful. Yeah.
oh wow.
I wouldn't mind going. We were talking offset that hopefully one day we'll meet in person and we'll be able to record, but not only that, just hang out and just, you know, be in each other's presence and learn, because it's kind of like when you're with someone, you activate the DNA. I mean, you can do it here on obviously on Zoom because that's how we do our you know, our shows to help others. But when you're in person, you know, right? We don't have to have that 6 foot apart rule anymore.
Right, seriously. And you're talking about the influencing too. It's like I keep getting the idea that it's so ridiculous that people are competing and trying to buy up stuff and own beautiful areas. And it's like it should be available to all. You know, it's like everybody should be able to enjoy all beautiful areas, not people buy it up and claim it and fence it off. And it's like we will get to that point though where we share this planet instead of trying to clutch and claim parts.
So and to that, Tom, I've been watching this guy on YouTube that goes into some interesting areas, and Sorry, my dog just made a weird noise. I had to make sure she was okay. And he goes into hollers. He goes into West Virginia. He goes into tribal areas and reservations. And they were talking about how, like, okay, yeah, white man is welcome in here. Sometimes the Indians will own a home and then lease it out to somebody. He says, but you know, we grew up hunting these lands, so we're used to going out and hunting, but then they don't want to fund their property hunting when they're renting, you know, and it's like that's not how we live together,
Right.
you know, like what you were saying. You know, you can own property. But when if I were to ever own property, like my understanding of it is I'm now paying to be the caretaker of that property.
Right.
You know, I'm responsible for making sure it's in good condition, but not to block it off and keep everybody off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a video I watched recently, someone put up, short clip thing, where it talked about, it showed trees in a forest and everything, and it said, you know, for people to realize that in so many, like 100 years or so, they'll be forgotten more or less. And it's like, really, it's about realizing about, you know, someone else will have that land to share, someone else have that land to share, that really, you know, it's not about this idea of clutching and claiming items and things like that. It's going to be taken from your hands anyway. It's like, why not just enjoy sharing it with other people instead of trying to cling to it or trying to keep it for yourself? So, yeah. And then I
You know,
realized too that because of what's happened to all of us, that our calling is that we won't be forgotten. It's what the industry is trying to fight. They always talk about being immortalized and being remembered. We didn't ask for it, but we're not going to be forgotten. Yeah, from the works and things that we did as service to others in our hearts, we're not going to be forgotten. So we're attaining what the others want so badly, but they're doing it out of selfishness. It's happening to us because of us acting benevolently. And it's really interesting. And I hope they get that idea. I've been trying to talk to Disney guys about that. It's like, you know, don't strive for your own gain and narcissistic mark on the world. Just serve. If you want to be remembered, serve. That's how you, if it's so important to be remembered. And if your work product is based on that, it may just last forever in the known historic records. So yeah.
I
So,
also was thinking about like what with relationships, and I know we've talked about it before, but it's like you cannot own your husband or your wife or your girlfriend. You cannot. And there's the, like I've talked about, Dark Shadows, when you know Johnny Depp is the vampire, and then the beautiful girl is like, here, Crystal Heart, right? Take my heart. And then he's like, no, you know, and then she crushes it, and then she just goes crazy. So it's like people, some people don't know what their true power is, and they keep giving away their hearts to people that really don't care. It could be relationships, like romantic. It could
mhm,
be even online. Some people will get together to troll others. I mean, we've all had a share,
mhm,
and that's not a good thing. At the end, they're hurting themselves. I heard something on Instagram the other day, this young guy saying, you know, let people talk bad about you. Let them say whatever they want, because it's actually their negativity that goes back to them as long as you do not accept it.
mhm,
But
mhm,
it's already automatically going to bounce back if you don't give in to, you know, that or fear. It could be with anything, and that is their greatest tactic, is fear, because like we know we've been threatened, and we were talking about this, you know, off camera, which, you know, it's they have a team of those people that will go and try and hurt someone and threaten them
mhm,
online, and also they'll try and do that in person, just to have us try and like put fear into us, so that way we stop. That way we stop talking the truth and trying to help others wake up, because this world is about, how can they control a human? Well, one way to control them is with worshiping these entities that they call God here in the Bible, which we here know that it's pretty much an Anunnaki thing. I was watching another Frankenstein movie because I love those Frankenstein movies, and it was when Victor meets Igor, right? And they decide to make a human into a machine, you know, and they put in, I think it's like 4 lungs and 2 hearts, and he's really big, kind of like a giant. So it's like the Anunnaki, you know, the Abel and Cain, the Draco blood, that they're trying to make these superhumans with their blood. And the thing of it is we starseeds don't need that. We already are that. And that is the whole thing. They want us to worship these people. Come to me, you know, because there is a scene in one of the movie, Frankenstein, where Victor, you know, says, come to me, to the big you know, the big monster he just created. Come to me, I'm your father, this is your brother, you know, or whatever. Igor comes, right? So it's like that's one way to take the power away from humans, is their worship. And then the other thing that we were talking about is, okay, how can we get the starseeds that are awakened? How can we trick them into doing things that we're gonna see if they fall for, say, vanity. You know, you get a tummy tuck or something and it goes wrong, or you hear about these injections, right, in your body, and oh my gosh, you're gonna be like, oh, these cheekbones are gonna go, ooh, you're gonna look like an alien, you know, you want to look like those, you know, Andromedans. Oh, let's do your eyes. I mean, I've seen so many women that have done that, and hey, if they want to, that's fine. But the future, though, the future, you don't know what they're injecting. You don't know what the fillers are. And I've seen so many actresses fall for that. And then you've seen the before and after. So vanity, you got to be careful with that. But go ahead, guys. I got to open the door. Sorry.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, and I've been watching that gentleman on the reservation just because I want to hear how the Indians, because there's another show coming on, I think, and it's got almost like a bunch of people in it that look like a hippie, but they're in a community. And it's going to be a special that comes on TV that shows how they all live together, but it's all like love and light and happiness. But what I liked about the Indians is they had, you know, and it's particularly the Cherokees. They've reinvested their money into their tribe, and they've really done well with it, you know, and I can see them doing that. But he was very proudful about serving in the army because they were about protecting their country, you know, or and that was a surprise to a lot of people. But a lot of Native Americans do join the army so they can protect their country,
right?
Because that's important. So I'm watching these people because I know eventually we're going to be heading into these type of communities, hopefully, and
yes,
and it's scary because I've seen there's this part of the population we were talking about earlier. Some call them democratic, you know, they tend to be the woke more, you know, sort of group. I notice everything they're involved in is got this demon energy to me. I can see it in their red hair, their green hair, their purple hair, their you know, even the Indians commented at one point because they were saying like, okay, the older generation refers to the youngsters as Indians, like that's a good hardworking Indian boy. He needs, you know, but that's because of their way they refer to each other. The other ones refer to them each other as like Cherokee or, you know, their nations, not even reservation, you know, those type of things. But they're very, you know, you can say anything to them. But this guy says, well, okay, because I was getting, you know, reprimanded by some people because I was using the word Indian or Native Americans or indigenous, you know, and they said, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. And he says, well, who were these people? And he says, they were outsiders. He says, oh, yes. He says, well, I'm going to say something that may not be popular, but that's almost like a liberal prejudice in a sense. Just because we don't need that white person coming here and saying it's not right for you to be picked on and we're going to make rules for you not to be picked on because we've persevered through so much. We'll persevere through this and survive. We don't need somebody, you know, doing that in that sense. But to live with these people that are doing this woke crowd, that's what's kind of concerning me. You know, like so I'm interested to see how these different scenarios work out. Yeah, I'm still looking into the Indian tribes and the Cherokee Nation that's building their territory up. because they have their own hospital, their police. This is how you do it if you're going to do something like that and be separate than the government, even though their land is still owned by the federal government. I've heard, resource wise and stuff. But to study these things and start heading in those directions mentally, because I don't know, we're so divided right now. And eventually we're going to have to come together and figure out how to, so.
Yeah, well, that's my dream. My dream is to have a community of like-minded hearts and cross disciplines. Like I said, that was the code in the screenplay. I do want that. I do want that. And I think man and womankind have been searching for that, a system or a place, a utopia in a sense. But you have the right hearts together, you can achieve a balance and a peace and a working harmony. You can achieve it. It only, if you have the right people there, it can happen, if that's truly their desire and their core. And I believe people have certain cores that are not going to change. So when we are able more to have a better ability to assess cores and know who we really are, we can segment into a different formulated group in society where we can count on each other. Good hearts will not burn each other. And I've been pointing that out about the survivor community. Survivors don't take on survivors. And that's how you can tell who's false in it. Because we as real survivors we can't conceive of attacking survivors. We know their pain, we identify. There's a familiarity with it. There's an understanding, there's an empathy. And there's many people that fake it and they surface and they group attack, and that's happening right now. They're going to be paying close attention. But I'm looking forward to when we can actually know what a person's core is and form a core of people that a community that will never have a war, will never have the violence or the put downs or the cutting or the narcissism. Just won't be in our community.
I'm all about protecting yourself, though. That's one thing that I would hope, that's what's making me nervous about this other community that's just all about love and light, coming together for that, because it's not protected in that sense. Like the Indians, they say, it's important to protect your country. It's important, we've always done that. The other thing I noticed too is with this idea, like I'm gonna write a play to inspire somebody to think about this. Because I don't have the answer, but they're being infiltrated too. Like there's even the Hispanic cartel that's coming across, getting in relationships with the girls because they just don't, say you can't come in here if you don't, you can marry into the family. You can, you're allowed to work there and be part of the community as outsiders and stuff like that. But so the Mexican, the cartels are coming in and befriending the young ladies and then selling the drugs to the families is what they're suspecting, and getting them addicted, and then the drugs are making their way in that way. So it's being infiltrated, and then
we did talk about
and then
that.
their women are going missing too. So there's that thing that's going on the reservations they were talking about. So whenever we talk about communities, it's like, so you got to have that protection because now their women are going missing.
Oh yeah, totally. Absolutely.
So
yeah, there is a famous woman, La China. She was a Mexican and Mexican Chinese woman that was the mera jefa. Nobody messes with her, and I shouldn't even be mentioning her name, but I was like, nobody messes with this woman, and what's going on is we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we said that FEMA, the people that are in control of FEMA right now and the monies for this CV thing that's pandemic that's going on is actually letting people in, not just Mexicans, but it's South Africans, Russians, Chinese men especially, and then men from Dubai and all that, from Afghanistan, from mainly men that are middle-aged to do what? Hide behind the mask.
Right.
We were talking about.
Yeah.
To and I see the Purge already, like the movie The Purge.
yeah.
They're letting these men in here, with the fake families and the fake kids, not only for the drug cartels, but for everything that they want. They, meaning the want to be elites, and some of them are involved with the bad white hats, because not all white hats are good. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That is why you see more of the Barbie like movie, because they're letting in these people that want to have the woman like a doll, like a mafiosa wife. And they all want us to look like Dolly Parton figure, you know, with the blonde. And I was also under mind control when I dyed my hair platinum, because I did see Ashiana Dean. I did get a lot of good information about that, but it's the Draco German control. When I say white people, that is what I'm referring to. The Draco mixed with the German, the white. They only want white. Okay. And they are right now with Orions, right?
I think
They
so.
want to control, they want to keep controlling Earth that way. If you think the United States is a melting pot, yes, but guess what? It's 90% German. And then we got the Japanese. Japanese owns California, you know, Japanese with China. Okay. But mainly it's the Germans, Nazi, that are controlling this United States and wanting to control the whole world. So when you were talking about, Chad, when you were talking about the Dems, demons, Democrats, okay, that is another thing that I had to write something on Facebook, if you guys notice, about the Dia de los Muertos. I was attacked verbally, sorry, not verbally, yes, verbally, a month and a half ago by someone in the neighborhood that said, why is your Facebook profile a Santa Muerte? Why do you have that, you know, the profile of the girl, you know, the Day of the Dead, white, you know, and dead face and the hair and the black? And I said, because that's what I believe. I believe in the Dia de los Muertos. I said, I've already died and I've come back and I'm not afraid. And that's just my ancestors, me communicating, you know, with the good ones. I'm not doing like brujeria and stuff like that. I'm not doing, you know, the whole, what he said, I said, because I said, I've already been in death. I've already been dead. It's not about me being afraid about that. It's not about me trying to promote this black magic. No. And what he said is, do you know that the Democrats, that is their play? And I said, if you look at what Dia de los Muertos is, and if you look at that person that is dressed like that, it's because the white, the demonic Draco has infiltrated the people like me that I have come from from Mexico. I was born in Mexico, okay? And what is the first thing that they do? They want you to be a Barbie. They start saying, oh, paint your hair blonde, even though I was born with blonde hair and then it became red as fire when I was a teenager, right? So you come into these programs thinking, oh, you have to be a Barbie now, but they don't tell you. What was my first Barbie? I was 9 years old when I got my first Barbie, because I told my mom, I'm tired of these Barbies that are flat. They don't got a chest, mom. They don't move. You can't move their body. Okay, that's the sex kitten program, beta program, right? Monarch program. And finally she gave me a Barbie with the biggest boobs and she could move. She had blonde hair. Okay. I know this sounds silly, but this is what happens to some of us first. How do you call us? The ones we cross the border and legally, obviously, you know, I'm a US citizen. I couldn't be a cop if you're not a US citizen. But I'm talking about these things that happen every day to us women. And the men, what is it? Peso pluma. Oh, you gotta be you gotta be a mafioso. Okay, now what do they have? They have Carol G with Peso Pluma. And guess what? Tigres del Norte, perdón. They're a very, very famous Mexican norteño band. And they said, no, we will not sign with Peso Pluma. Because it's an infiltration tactic. See, why do we have Oppenheimer and Barbie opening up at the same day? The German Nazi infiltration with the Barbie female muñeca. Now you got Ken dyeing their hair blonde. Why? Because no, now we can be mannequins. We can do whatever you tell us to do. We are going to worship, you know. And there you go. Awaken people getting targeted too, and children. We can talk about all the Disney movies. Anyway, I kind of like went off track, but Immortals, Eternals, you wrote, right, Tom?
Mhm.
You wrote the script, and now on Disney they have Eternals. You wrote Immortals, right?
Right, and they
So
actually, yeah.
yeah, so we all want that. We want the good, okay? But they cannot have, okay, they cannot have this matrix of Earth of the power siphoning if they don't have the black and white. So the love and light community is the extreme white right path. We have the right path, we've talked about this before. We got the left path, then we have the extreme left path, okay, which is more satanistic. The left path is more like Mason Illuminati, but then you go deeper and it's more. The right side is all love and light, but then you got more. You like, oh well, now you gotta have sex with the pastor, because if you don't have sex with the pastor, you ain't going to heaven, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell anybody.
Yep.
It's a secret. The eye. There it is in one nutshell. What is going on here on Earth?
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead, guys.
think
It's your
I
turn.
think it's interesting that they found at the biolabs in Ukraine, they were targeting Russian men's DNA to make them sick and die. And what you see throughout time is this idea of give us your gold, your money, and your women. And it's like Dr. Strangelove. They are actually have this fantasy thing where they want to have more women for each of them than there is men. And so there's this program actually targeting men, white men. It's like very interesting that really is, and that's why a lot of these wars that are propagated was meant to reduce male population. And it's like, so that's one of the plans I think we're going to see in the future, which is very sad if they get to carry it out, is that there will be an epidemic of males dying.
Yes.
And when you see with the little thing with the stupid thing that Bill Gates was involved with, where he made 20 on the dollar on it, and now he's saying it didn't work, it was young men that were dying on the soccer fields. Young men. They found a way to kill young men, and they were perfecting it. So there's this fantasy they have of having a world, it's in the Immortals, where a man will have multiple wives, and that there'll be less men, because they really believe that to have peace in their next world, the resets, that there needs to be less males to compete. And I'm just like, wow, what a shallow concept. Yeah, it's in the works. Yeah,
it's kind of twisted though, because you know why? Because the female goddess is the creator. The male god is the protector, even though women can pretty much protect, because before we were the axe throwers. We were the ones that really, they used to have sex with men to have kids, and then they would kill them off. That's what they want. They want to go back to that, Lola. And another thing with Monsanto is the color yellow. If you look at one of the stop it, Lola. One of the movies called "He's Just Not That Into You." There's a couple, right? I've talked about it before, where the couple is like wanting to paint. The girl wants to paint the room, because she wants to have a baby, right? And he's like, "Well, I haven't really thought about it." And then she said, "How about yellow?" And he goes, "Why yellow?" And she says, "Oh, that's gender neutral." So the whole yellow with the Monsanto corn being the modified, they're trying to modify people to be into the transhuman, transgender. They don't want the woman and they don't want the man. They want this thing that the extreme left-hand path worships, which is another form of Horus, which is the sun, right? The guy with the demon face. Let me go real quick. I'll pause it. And with the boobs, right? You guys can talk. Chad, go ahead. I'll be back.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, you wrote about that in your movie. That's a lot of why they did what they did with the transgenderism to distort that and to push their agenda when when it was a defense, it's against being raped, and
Right. Scare them
so
into
it
it.
is very real. I see it in the kids' cartoons right now too. Robots talking in human voices and humans talking through auto tune to make us sound more robot. They're just blending in. And it almost seems like the astral is coming out in us. I mean, I see like almost clowns walking around like you would up there, in that realm or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the weird, freaky stuff that I see going on that's becoming more and more that's being channeled through.
Yeah. Well, the group that turned on us during my son's birthday, they have the masks. They have a whole series of these horrific masks. And it's interesting because it's like, how can anybody gravitate to that as being benevolent? When you're wearing these creepy masks and voice modulating all the time. And it's like, they would say it's for their safety, but it's not for their safety. It's just
and even the music they're listening to, it's all demonic. I mean, it's all straight up, it's just so demonic. It's just, I mean, the Sam Smith, his music award dance that he did, my sister said, "Oh, I love this song. I could just see you dancing to it. It's got a rhythm that's great." And I said, I would never dance to that song. After seeing what I just saw.
Yeah, that's the one. He's like a vampire flying, right? And then the first thing of the lyrics is when you think of me or something, and then it's all a spell.
I'll say something that I wanted to say before, because it's kind of off topic, is what we're talking about, the Democrat and the liberals and stuff, because Marianne Williams, I believe her name is, or Williamson, she went to run for president. She was a female running for president. She was a Course in Miracles student as well. I saw her doing an interview with Deepak Chopra that wanted me to just about put my fist through the screen and strangle them both. And they were talking about how humanity is just dark at its core, innately evil, innately bad. I'm like, oh, these liberals, these are Oprah promote these, she's a Course in Miracles student, and a liberal. She was running for the Liberal Party. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. I'm liberal myself, but I understand we need boundaries. I'd love to be in barter trading, but that exists on a higher realm, like fifth, and higher. I mean, you can't have. We're in duality. We got life and we got birth and death, and we got love and hate, and we got all those things down here. It's not going to work, that world. And what I feel is like they're against corporations because that's what they've been programmed to be. And they really think of their government as being daddy and mommy, and their doctors as being God, and science as being God, because they've all denounced it. I mean, I can't even, they just think we're a bunch of Jesus loving gun toting, and that's what it's been crammed down their throat. And what I love about this guy going into these areas like the hollers in Virginia and stuff, because he asked him, he says, your Confederate flag. He's like, what does that mean to you? Because a lot of people associate that with racism. He goes, what the heck is racism? He says, we all live on the same damn planet. There is no racism. My nieces are black. My grandchildren, I mean, nobody thinks that way.
Right.
It's them making us look like we think that way.
Right.
And painting that picture. And they've done well, because that is this image the other side has of us.
Yeah, that's the canceled culture, because I saw that with Tom McDonald. I was all like, wow, this is so cool. Tom McDonald, maybe I can have him on my show. And he never responded. And it was like canceled culture. They just what you said, Chad. And then real quick about the mask, I was gonna tack on to what Tom said is, they're trafficking kids. That's why they had the masks. And also I talked about it when it first happened in 2020. I think that's when they put up the extra security and Target. They have the artificial intelligence being pinpointed. So they had these rótulos, how do you say it? These kind of like billboards of people staring at you. Like, I went to Target one day and it freaked me out. I looked, and Fry's too. Like, they have real people, we'll say, on these pictures, because they want us to get used to us being spied on, right? And then just I moved into this side of town, and what I saw at Target, they have these security big old Hummers. It's not even police, they're security, and they're not even from here, and they're there, two of them all the time. And when my niece and I went the other day, when we were walking from the parking lot inside Target, it said, "You are being recorded," with the blue light, right? Blue light is for convincing you. The blue, cerulean. Why do you think Earth is blue, quote unquote? They want you to think that blue because they're using us. We are the bioluminescence to keep this going. Again, the black and white, right? The chess game. They're using our abilities, so we have to be really careful. They had me blocked on China. They had me blocked in Russia. Just recently, I had a video pop up on my email saying, hey, you got a copy strike. And I'm like, I already made this video when I was doing the live videos with Katie Camaria on my show called Unchained Hearts. And then I saw that I was blocked in Russia. So that they don't want their citizens knowing what the United States is up to, I guess. But anyway, I went off topic again.
That's right.
All right, go ahead. Sorry. Got distracted with Lola here.
No, that's okay.
Whoever wants to go is fine. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been watching a real big push now by the agencies. I mean, we've had the planes spraying overhead. I've been videoing it, and I've never seen it with such frequency. We've had high-level resignations from Warner Brothers and also the main players in our situation, our story. We've had this group attack in mass ruthlessly. I've never seen a more ruthless attack than this Imagination podcast group. I've never seen a more ruthless attack. And then that's teamed up with Sophia Stewart's group. And it's just like this, they're calling in all their markers right now because we are reconstituting our website. We are getting ready for litigation with them. You talked about the documentary chat and the double ones, and it's like they're freaking out. They're absolutely freaking out. So I'm starting my own show too called The Unconquered, which I'll have you guys on that also. And so they're trying to attack on numbers and views and everything else. It's just like unbelievable. They actually pulled this card where they took a picture from my back on Maui. That's been decades. Back on Maui, where the daycare, where Aiden, he's now 17, when he was 6 months old. They took a picture of that, where they said that the lady who was the daycare person had the kids watching Disney, and that's why I was evil, because I allowed a daycare lady watching Disney. I didn't know they were watching Disney cartoons, but that's what they're using now. It's unbelievable. So anything they can stab and they can throw, they're trying to stop us all from completing our work. And that's where I learned about, how they employ narcissists. The agencies employ narcissists for low level work. And these guys admit to being, whether they really are or not, agency assassins, agency body handlers. It's like, and they're being shown as the greatest people in the survivor movement, and you even see this entry that says, ladies and mama bears, you need to pick, this is the greatest of the men, the greatest of the men, the most one that gives everything. And it's like the guy's wearing a gray mask. It's like, seriously, and so it's like the Jim Jones colony.
I don't think
where the women got on the microphones and started talking about you have to have sex with Jim Jones. It's like that's the kind of promotions going on. I'm amazed at what's happening right now.
so. Like, if you give us enough time, like us people, I'm talking about the ones that are a little different than the ones we're talking about, referring to ourselves. Just because you walk like a duck and talk like a duck doesn't make you a duck if you don't feel like a duck to me. If you don't feel like a duck to me, you ain't a duck. And that's what I feel like these people can't do. They can't feel. They're walking like ducks and talking like ducks, but they're no duck. I mean, these Democrats are the most prejudiced, racist people on the planet. Not the ones that are the people, but well, there's something to say there. But the ones that they're following, they're not. They pretend to be that Walt Disney. Like we're just in our little cardigan and our.
Exactly. It's like they are core of narcissists, and it's like anything you say they'll consider it's an attack, or they'll turn it around and play the victim. So they'll attack your site and claim they're the victim, but they're the ones attacking your site. And it's like, they'll pick the worst days, like holidays or birthdays, like my son's birthday, and they'll pick that day to hit. Then they'll argue that you're a liar and a fraud because they actually claim they sent it on the 2 days before the birthday, but it arrived on the birthday. So it doesn't matter. They try to twist everything around. I find them as a demographic fascinating, because of their predictability. And what they can't handle is sarcasm. They can't handle being laughed at. They can't handle if we treat them indifferently, that they're not that special. Each of them wants to feel like, it seems, that they're the center of the world and in some amazing drama, and they're the king and queen in it. And that's why they often do this to survivors, because they're the safest people to attack, the ones that are less likely to do any kind of response that's harmful. So it's like cowards attacking easy targets to feel like they're heroes in a shared story. It's so cheap and so boring. So what I've been interested in is seeing how they react. And often when they attack, they'll have this look on them when you see them in person, where they have such a feeling of superiority. It's almost like I almost don't want to disrupt it, because they're so happy thinking they rattled you. But every time they say something to you, it's always drawn from what they fear most would be said to them. So if they attack your looks, they're afraid of their looks being attacked. It's projecting whatever they fear most on their target. And for those of us that are smart, we can pick right up on it. I had an example.
Because laughing at pain isn't funny, and we can hear the difference. You're laughing, but you're not happy. It's not good laughter. We know the difference.
Right.
And when you're taking pleasure in someone else being wrong or accusing someone, and you're getting that, it's almost like they get that, we can feel that. But the others, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if because there's the extreme narcissist that we're talking about, but then there's also the mild one,
Right, which is tragic, yeah.
But which is in our families, and
right. I'm realizing a group dynamic with narcissists that form groups and do these attacks on innocent people, which is just shameful. I have piles of information being sent to me of these guys even claiming to be the right hand of God. They actually claim they're the right hand of God while they're threatening to slap a woman's face. But what you need for these groups of narcissists then is an enabler, somebody who enables them to do this. And that's what I found about this lady with Imagination Podcast. She had fooled me so much, duped me so badly, that she's the enabler for them. So she's like this queen among them, and she wants them all to be competing for her attention. And so she's the one that facilitates all these things. And it's like, I was blown away when I saw the dynamics and everything. And when I know who this person is, I had known her apart from before she sprung this on me, that she doesn't feel good about her looks. She doesn't feel like she's that attractive. She shared that with me. So she piles the makeup on. And so she's in this cycle where she wants men to want her and fight over her. And they do. And I had said on her program that real men don't compete for women. We're not going to do that game. And I guess that set off the whole thing. The one guy that she has her all the time got upset and saw me as a threat because she was praising me on her show. He had me like 5-6 times. And so he wanted all those videos struck. And he doesn't want the competition. It's so stupid. It takes us down to such a low level, low frequency, where it's a woman needing the attention, needing that, overloaded makeup and overloaded eyelashes 5 miles long. And it's like she wants that attention while the men will give her that. And then the men will go out and attack soft targets because they're cowards. They don't want to take on real targets that might fight back. So they take on sweet targets and then throw everything aside. It's just like these narcissistic groups form because of agencies and because of Warner Brothers, like you said, the viewpoint of everybody's dark in their center. So we have survival like Lord of the Flies, and it's really what's going on. And I know that they are not that smart. They're not that brilliant. They haven't been able to peg anything on me. And I laid a rule down that if you show up on my site, I will post one video over and over again. And it's the main guy saying he's a paranoid schizophrenic. on the tape. So I have a little clip. Every time they strike on my site, I attach, I say, thank you, here's your parting gift. And it's him going, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic, I hear voices. I'm like, they hate it. They said they're gonna sue me. I'm like, that's his own statement. It's his own words. Can't do it. You're attacking my site. I said and made it clear that if you attack my site, I'll attach this. Can't sue me for butt kiss. But you're the guys being the aggressors. And they don't like it. So they don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to handle it. But go ahead.
There's another game they play too that you called out way in the beginning where there's like 9 things you can say right, but if you get one thing wrong, they just come in on you and like they discredit all the other 9. And we've already caught on to that and we just say, no, sorry, you know, but they do tone in on the one thing wrong. You know, we learn these games. Another thing I noticed about them too, especially the more mild ones, is feelings have a lot of importance to them. Like feelings are facts, and they want they're all their feelings catered to.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's what's fascinating. They will take your work. Like I had 5 to 6 shows with this lady on Imagination podcast, this Emma lady. And she was praising me during the show, which I don't need the praise. But she's like even applauding and like your evidence is foolproof and Tom, you're the real deal. How can that change overnight to it's all lies, you're a fraud, you're a fake? What happened? There's no real exchange. So how did everything become lies and fake when you've had 5 to 6 different programs just lauding you for the evidence you show? See, that's it. They can turn it like a switch.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Tom, like I had real quick, I had 5 shows with Carrie, what's her name? Kelly Coffee. And I even invited her on twice here with us. I still have one of the videos up. But she was on with us twice. I was on with her 4 or 5 times. And all of my videos, all of a sudden, for no reason that I was aware of, they're all gone.
Yep. That's their tactic. It's like Mean Girls. They do this tactic where I had said, if these programs are to help the children and you actually do care about survivors, Emma, why would you strike them all? To please your guys? It's like when you strike them, she's trying to hurt, they're trying to hurt you, they're trying to hurt me. It's their mean girl tactic. It shows they don't have a heart for the kids or survivors at all. Not at all, just for themselves and their numbers, celebrating their numbers. But the thing is, when you do that, you're not harming us. You're harming the children and what the work was for. And it's really, really revealing. When anybody does that, strikes videos, that's just Mean Girls. That's just, they're petty. They're not worth supporting. The first thing she did was she had me send all my followers to her before she struck. So that was wild. And then I saw her on her platform going, right after she did all this, that she completed her entire downloaded library, but she had struck all mine. That was weird. And then said, I'm up to 3,500 subscribers. It's like, you just duped people into sending people your way. When you have a guy who claims he's an assassin with masks on and scary voices, abusing people while you're telling him that he's the greatest thing, and all these women are coming forward with proof that he was abusive to them and threatening, and men too. You're not the real deal. Not the real deal at all. So I will call these things out. I will not let that go, and I'll call it out strong. Like I said, I'm going to play that video every time they attack on my site. And when you hear it, it's pretty amazing. It's like the guy is actually saying, the one she's saying is the greatest guy, the real true guy, that it gives all and gives everything, and you hear him saying like, I have stirrings where I, hear a conscious and voice is, and I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. And then he goes on, I looked it up and it said paranoid schizophrenic. It's like, holy crap, you're saying that's the greatest guy? That's the guy who's women. He even says all women and mama bears, you got to watch this guy, take notes. This is the greatest guy who cared. Gave money to her. Now she promotes books like Sophia Stewart does, promoting books. That's all she does is promote this book to this guy, a married guy who she likes. So it's just like, I'll tell you, it's time to shake the tree. It's time to bring the truth out, because these narcissists have had their day, and I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. You're not going to put us into your programs and take down our hard work that is for helping kids. you know. And what I would say to Emma and Nathan and Gray, who might be the same guy, I'd say, you're not that exciting, you're kind of boring, you're very ordinary, and you shouldn't be trying to create a drama where survivors suffer from your want to have attention. It's really, no, you've already proven yourself false. So, and
That's
they have to
probably
attack
what,
yeah.
you know, that's right. We won't take it, and
No,
we're
it
gonna
won't.
keep doing these shows.
So,
And they probably didn't
well,
have
this
attention from mommy and daddy. Go ahead, Chad.
this left that we're talking about, this woke crowd, I noticed they're not creative at all. They cannot meme, they're not funny,
Not
and
funny.
they follow. So they need leaders, and that's where we're going to step in. They just need good, they're following what they're being led by right now. We just
Right.
need to switch that up. But in infiltration form too, I want to bring up somebody's name, Roseanne Barr, because I promoted her to you before, because I saw her coming out. I saw her, but now I've seen her totally get infiltrated. She was doing some nice interviews, getting with people, but then all of them started coming to her to do her show on her, and it was Candace Owen, and it was that Mariam Williamson, that ACIM person that I told you, talking to Deepak Chopra about how evil humans are at their core. And this is a Course in Miracles student. And she's on there interviewing with Roseanne Barr. So they send in these people that are
Right.
that seem like the good guys, because they know Roseanne Barr is like a little bit of a QAnon, or, you know, she kind of followed that theory a little bit. So they're really taking advantage of that, because she feels she's got this understanding of what's going on now that she's been observing. And now they're confirming it by sending in the people that are going to confirm it for her, even though that's really not what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a try to control situation, like they did with me. They try to control. Yeah, I understand. So, and that's the thing, they're trying to push this guilty by association. But I think people need to realize that we're often the last to know what's going on when they try to control us and send these people in. And these people play awful sweet with us. You know, they play really sweet. I was totally bamboozled by this Emma Petrick. I thought that she was this amazing girl that just was naive even. And I was being warned by other people saying, don't trust her, don't trust her, don't trust her. And then she came down on me when it was time to do it on, you know, my son's birthday. And it was just like, wow. And they always blame you. So we don't know. When we get played, we're usually the last ones to know. And so I'll say that for Roseanne too. We're usually the last ones to know what's going on around us, because they'll talk a sweet game. Boy, they'll talk a sweet game.
They are.
Game. Yeah.
I can't watch her show anymore. Yeah,
Oh.
I stopped. So
well, I'm glad that we are survivors, and that we're going to see a new formation of real survivors. We're going to have to survive the onslaught of these guys that are narcissists, and they really are.
yeah.
If you attack good work and attack people that are doing good work, and if you've said in the past, these are good people, and then these people will attack the good work, I wouldn't want to be them. I wouldn't want to be them on Judgment Day or whatever. I wouldn't want to be them. I don't want to be them.
Yeah.
Never. And in fact, I ended up with a post that I wrote when I was starting to get brought into their tactics, like to fight back. And I just want to read it to you. I wrote this. I said, come to think of it, I can't be like them. I do not want to be like them, ever. Poisoned with hate, delusional and vengeful, self-absorbed and percolating pettiness. But what I can be is what I know, what my friends are, what fellow survivors are to me. You, genuine heroes with heart. And the other thing I wrote was, I have come this far doing it right. And now when it's toughest and they are throwing everything they got at me to try and stop me from doing what's right, for others that must not go through what I have gone through for this long, it tells the future me, I got to do this right. So that's what I wrote. I'm not going to be.
I love it, Tom. You can even keep going. Like, you can add on to that. Wow. Maybe you can.
That's my answer to them. I won't be pulled into their battles. And when I reveal them, like on your program, it's because they have to be revealed. If you got a guy with creepy Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers masks, and you're claiming that women should be, telling us to other people to give them followers and send people innocent your way, and they have a history of abusing people and the worst possible ways abusing people. And I have so many examples, claiming to be the right hand of God and saying they're going to slap their face, and then all this other stuff, threatening them, their lives, women. Then Emma, you are pure evil with what you're doing, pure evil. You're allowing a Jim Jones situation, and your people are showing their true colors by just being the worst kind of shredders and abusers that are on the planet. I've told people follow Imagination Podcast because Emma told me to do. And I'm telling people now, stay as far away as you can from Imagination Podcast and de-subscribe, because that is a den of trouble. And women, if you want to be abused, join Emma's group. And I'll say it right out. Don't go there. You're going to see the worst hateful humans attacking innocent people because they're cowards to face real courage. They don't have it. I am so disgusted with what Emma's done. She made herself the center of a world. And I had believed in her. But I'll just say it right out. But that's my standpoint, what I read. I'm not going to become like her. Not going to become like Nathan. Not going to become like Ray. All these people that she put forward. They're ordinary, boring people who have attack squads. Not going to play. Not going to play. I'm not going to send people down to be harmed. And I'm going to call people for what they are. So, yeah, that's how it's going to be. So, yeah.
Definitely. I will tag her on this one too. Like
Yeah,
we
let it be known. Yeah, let it be known. I will not have it. And all their threats and everything else, they can stuff it.
Yeah.
Not gonna go for it.
They're part of that agenda.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
The handleman's tale.
The guy, this Nathan guy on her program, where she's all drunk on, even though he's married, catering his book all the time. Like there's 9 entries on her Facebook of holding up his book, peeking cutely behind it, holding up like 9 different times. And he lists himself as a CIA assassin. Really? Seriously? And the other guy, the alter ego he has of the gray, goes by gray, with those, when you see the masks, I'm sorry. It's like end times. I'm looking at it going like, seriously? That's like Michael Myers and a woman saying, girls, mama bears, you need to follow Michael Myers. He's the sweetest person on the planet. It's like, I mean, seriously, I mean, how far do you think they can pull the wool? So yeah, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. They can throw their little hissy fits. I'm not having it.
No, it kind of also reminds me of the Lucifer agenda. If you have
Exactly.
seen the one with Johnny Depp, Ninth Gate, that movie, Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, what do? They just want to have orgies. And they follow this Lucifer thing. You know, he's the greatest thing that ever existed, and they make him into an entity. You have to belong to this secret society to have an orgy with us. Mind control. Pretty much that's what they want. Like you just described it. She just wants all the attention.
Exactly. And she wants bad boys with her.
Right.
You know, bad boys. Yeah. It's like if you were a CIA assassin and then your alter ego you claim through this gray mask that you were a CIA body handler, whatever they're calling themselves, then you're up for war crimes. You're up for war crimes. I'm sorry, I don't celebrate Nazis or murderers. I don't care what they're, and this guy has the long hair and the makeup on too. He puts makeup on to make himself look, and he does these puppy dog eyes. But when the mask is on, you see the puppy dog eyes under the mask. The same color eyes, everything. It's like, guys, we're not falling for it. So really, I'm changing my mind and saying any woman that knows me, don't follow Emma. Don't follow Imagination Podcast. It is a trap. It is a bad trap of, oh my God. And kids too. CIA assassins, even if it's true or not true.
They're trying to promote them well. They want the kids to be CIA assassins. What do you want to be when you grow up? A CIA assassin?
You know, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. This is selective programming. Exactly what it is. And the way they came on my page, and I kept saying not to, attacking on my son's birthday, which is always done, and Sophia Stewart tagging with them. So I would say, yeah, this is definitely bad news. And I'm glad I was able to draw them out. I'm glad they picked me to launch on, because they picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand for survivors, and I celebrate courage. And one of the first things they'll say is, you know, you're a coward. Narcissists project what they are because they're afraid of being revealed and being called that. It's like, we're the farthest thing from cowards, and our track record has proven it.
Yeah.
Tell me more about yourself, narcissist.
Yeah.
What else are you going to call me?
Yeah.
It's psychology 101. I mean, it's
That's right.
so
That's
basic.
right.
It's so, yep.
Are these
I
Every
warned them
time.
yesterday back.
sorry, are
Every
these the
time.
same that were calling you out for looking real nice and clean and
Oh,
handsome? And
Yeah.
they tell the public, because we talked about this.
Well, this lady comes on today because I told them to stop. They won't stop. It's been since October 14th they launched. And so she came on today, and not a very attractive woman. Stupid thing to do. Narcissist, part of the Emma Nathan Gray thing. And she gets on there and she's showing a picture of Aquarius rising. And there's Chantel, the host, and there's me, and I'm dressed nice like Chad is right now. And there's Chantel dressed nice. And so she's saying, just trying to mock, going like, you guys look like you're in a funeral, and then all this other stuff. And she's trying to just dig and trash and dig, and then puts a laughing, crying eyes. So I felt guided to respond to the narcissist with what I know. So I wrote back. I said, and she has born again Christian. So she claims to be a born again Christian while doing this. And she feels, you can see the narcissist reaction where she feels really smut about it, like, you know, very pleased with herself. And so I felt it was time to, after so many warnings since October 14th to now, warning them stay off the page, I'll respond. I started to use my sarcasm. So I responded with this. I said, born again Christian. And basically I responded, I said, if we are a funeral, then you're at it. And it looks like you were just dug up again. And I would say, ugly. And then I put the laughing things on it. So I responded with what they don't like most. So yeah, she did look that way. She looked like that. So I'm not going to play their game. If they want to push it out, they'll get it back the way they are.
Okay, I love this too, because Brian Upchurch, he's got a silver tongue on him, that he's had some of these. He doesn't know what's going. He might, I don't know. He's not calling it out like you do. You know, he just gets the attacks and he just comes back. But he had one of these ladies come at him, and he went off on her talking about her turkey neck or something. For like, I mean, this is one of these evil women, you know, that was telling him that he was something, and was, I don't know what it was, but he went off on. He came up with so many things to say about her within a half an hour. You know, you were in stitches. It just never ended, and that's that's a gift we have. So, you know, I mean, you can come at us, but if we decide to be mean, we got silver tongues. You know,
I mean, yeah. What's today's date? How many days have they refused to listen to my request? 12 days. So I think they had fair warning.
Today's the 26th, right, of October 2023. And today is the 13th episode with Tom Althouse. So today was the day that you had to respond, because it's 12 you didn't listen to, and we got number 13 here.
That's right. And I gave so many chances. I gave so many chances. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, narcissist. I know how to play with narcissist. I know what to do. I know how to play.
So can I give the image that comes in my mind with these Democrats is the sheep. I get the sheep image of them being herded right now, and they're all being herded, and we gotta interrupt that. Like, we're the ones that are
and not only Democrats, Chad, thank you, but I keep saying,
oh yeah, you're right.
You guys have to watch the movie.
Yeah.
DEUS.
The right is too. It's just trickier to see what's going on there, but they're being led too. I mean, all of them are.
Yes, both sides. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I hear these noises outside right now that are like booming and thudding and thumping. And it's like, wow, I've never heard like this before. Like, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, I'm ready to just like.
They're like throwing spit wads at you.
Yeah. I'm opening it up. That's what's going on. Is it a storm or what? Or a helicopter? We had a helicopter the other day, just like hovered right over during the one program. And it meant it wouldn't allow me to share screen anymore. But we went over the Tom Hanks thing, right? I showed you about the Tom Hanks thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that something? So now that that's revealed too, along with Kate and the rest, that's why there's been these high level resignations. And that's why I think they used Emma and Gray and Nathan to come on hard, you know, and attack on the son's birthday, along with Sophia Stewart's group. And then the planes were spraying and flying over too. I think they're really upset because we've got them now. They know legally we can take them apart. So that's why they're trying to use Emma's group to say, oh, we're going to sue you and things like this. No, if you're going to attack me for what you've done on my page and stuff like this, and I'm relaying what you did on my page, you don't have any legal grounds whatsoever. Not at all. And if I'm tagging your own guy saying he's apparently schizophrenic onto the responses, that's his words. There's nothing I'm not doing, and nothing I did wrong. So yeah.
There also last night my sister sent me this thing where they have this shooting going on in Maine, more MK Ultra stuff, and you know, some of this stuff is kind of like, you know, when you watch movies or series like Grey's Anatomy, how, you know, that looks so real. Oh, well, that's because they hired crisis actors and actresses. You know, they have no legs already. Maybe they're had them amputated, and then here they go with more makeup. And why? Because they want the agenda, and of course it's MK Ultra on the guy. You know, they pick a person that has been in trouble before, and then they do some MK Ultra. And then it's like, okay, this is they want the whole agenda of to take away weapons and things like that. Along with the Handmaiden's Tale, like having the women be again submissive to men, like the gray Nathan guy on
right, exactly. Because because this one individual would never have struck all those videos unless she was under direction to, or when it was like this 3-paragraph description of this guy, you can imagine this guy telling her what to say. You know, that's how these guys work, and the woman will fall in place if she loves them. So, you know, she'll follow in suit and do it for her man. You know, even if they're married or not.
Like that song, "Stand by Your Man."
Yeah. Pretty much like that. So I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to watch people hurt. Not watch people. They opened up on my site in this way. This gray guy, alter ego, shows up with a mask thing, and he attacks a woman on my site, Misty, and he says that she is filth, and then said that I'm an idiot. That's how they opened up on the birthday of my son, and it was just like blind shot rooming in like that. You're going to get a response, you know, and that was my most vulnerable point, and they knew that. And so I saw Emma turn from this pretending to be so sweet and so loving, I thought she was naive, into this just vicious persona.
She turned into the Prince of Wrath, the snake.
Yeah. And so I think, and it's like, for what reason? And so, you know how we are. I'm like, you know, let's just talk. We'll get this worked out. I mean, no problem. They don't want to talk. It doesn't serve their need to feel important. They need the drama to feel important, where we don't want the drama. We just want peace, but they need it to make themselves the center of their story and attack the safest people possible, so they're not in any risk while they do it, you know. But I think they had awakening now, where they realize that they picked the wrong people, and don't mess with people I love, and don't mess with the memory of people I love, and don't attack the work that I've been doing for over 3 decades, when I've showed evidence all along the way, especially when you've applauded it and lifted it up for 6 episodes. You know, don't suddenly switch and say it's all lies. That is what the agencies have people do. And I'm not going to stand for it. Won't stand for it. Yeah. But I love you.
You know, one thing we don't, one thing we don't do well, that they do well, is play victim.
Oh my God,
you know,
yes.
They're so good at playing. Yes. They're the biggest victims in the air. It's like,
yes,
you cannot victimize me. I just not.
And they're used to the role playing in that. Like Emma will play victim. And guys, like the guy that showed up, I couldn't believe this guy named Jack shows up on my site, tagging on my site, going like, Emma, I'm in your corner. You're my number one. I'm gonna. And she's like, thanks, Jack. And it's like, so they're acting out this little drama, her playing victim and him being the white knight on my site. And I'm like, guy, get off my site, loser. I'm like, you know, if you want to court Emma, do it on her site, not on mine. You know, you're that weak. You know, and have her.
You know, I blocked this guy that did his name is Charles Bieber. He's been hounding me for an interview, and I'm like, why do you want me on your show? Like, just listen to my freaking, I got my playlist, listen to my life story there. Well, the first thing, right, he does is he's talking crap about his wife. The poor woman just had a heart attack. She just had a heart attack. And then he's like, oh, well, before the show, you know, she wanted me to fix things, her jewelry. And I'm like, well, maybe she needs your attention. why don't we reschedule? Because it would have been the third
Yeah.
time scheduling, and he didn't want to. And he's the first thing that when he opened up the little interview, he said, so wow, you've been abused and you've been used and abused, haven't you? And I'm like, not anymore. I said, and
Right.
I was so frustrated
Yeah.
with that interview. I'm like,
Sure.
and then he kept going like this. Like, you know,
Oh my.
like if I was a waste of time, and it's like, well, then watch your body language with the interviews. It says it all. Why
Right. That's
the
it.
hell did he want to interview me? Well, it's to make fun of me. And if you notice, most of the people on his show, Charles Beaver, they're mostly women. And they talk about their objections and their sexual stuff. So, he's getting off on that good. And that's what they do. That's what they
That's
do.
right.
And
I mean, it's easy to call it out when you see somebody who's spending a lot of time, like you have a host that's a female, and she goes on and on and on about this guy who's married. And it's just like, you can tell, they don't realize how transparent it is, that there's something going on between them. It's like they want the world to know, tintillates them, but at the same time, they want to keep it secret because that also makes it exciting for them. And it's like, you can tell. And this guy has this lovely wife and family. So it's like, we can see it. We see what's going on. It's not exciting. You guys are ordinary and boring that do this. You're ordinary and boring. Not exciting. It's what the narcissists do. And narcissists tend to have affairs. They tend to, want to feel special and have their superiority image reinforced. And so often they will get with another one in extramarital things in order to propagate that feeling of being so special, us against the world and that kind of stuff. While the poor person that's married to them is then blamed later for being the cause, or they drop hints by talking bad about their spouse.
yeah, it happened to me. So
yeah, it's painful.
He went to go and then he married another one, the one that he was cheating with, and then he cheated on her. So it's like, who's the common denominator, And then I've had my fair share of MK Ultra. Everybody knows what happened a few years ago. That I even went to another state thinking that because of the super soldier program, thinking, oh, because I've had lifetimes with this guy, and it's like, why did I do that? He was willing to leave his wife, pregnant wife, which she is also looks like a mummy on her Facebook, and he controls her.
Right.
And he would tell me things. He told me a lot of things, and then he ended up being the one that got sick in his tongue. The green stuff started coming out, and I had to take him to the hospital. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here under MK Ultra? Because they feed you the lies that you got to be with this person, you got to divorce that person because they're your true twin flame. They're your soulmate. No, it's bullshit.
Well, that's how the honeypot wife program thing and the honeypot man husband program, what they do is they're supposed to call you a narcissist, and they'll do this. And it's like, I had the one doing it to me, honeypot, wife kind of idea. And as soon as she said that to me, I said, well, then I'll go. I'm not going to be with somebody who's not happy with me. If you're not happy with me, I'll go. And she said, you can't go. I'm like, if you're going to call me a narcissist, I'm going to leave. I want to be with somebody. You won't never find somebody like me, which is what a narcissist says, right? They always say that. And then it was like, she said, you're going to abandon me. I'm like, listen, I want to be somebody who sees my heart and knows who I am. And if you're going to call me that, you don't know who I am. And I want to make somebody happy. And so if I don't make you happy, I'm not going to stick around. If you think that, I'm not sticking around. I had to end up paying her $3,000 to let me go. So when the money made her happy, so I actually drew up a contract over $3,000 and I finally would leave. That's how I got away from that person. But it's like, it's like the money made her happy. Then it was like the narcissist in her was like, okay, I'm getting something. Okay. All right.
How much did you have? I know you mentioned it before, but how much again?
3,000.
To get away from her?
Let me go.
Is that what
that's their job? Their job is to say that you're a narcissist. That's their job. And it's like, we're not. But narcissists project on the other person, right? I wasn't calling her a narcissist, but that's what they do. They project themselves on you.
Yeah.
Usually on medication and stuff. And so I paid to get away. I actually had it notarized. Here's your money. Let me go. And so I had to find her price for letting me go. So I can, and she said, and what a narcissist says to you, like I said, the narcissist will say to you, male or female, you'll never find anybody like me. But I really don't want to find somebody like you. So yeah. Yeah.
Chad, your face, your face when we're talking.
Yeah.
You're like, that's why I'm not in a relationship.
But that's
Yeah.
why, you know, that's again back to that community someday
Yeah.
of just nice people. I that's a dream of mine. I don't know. It's always a dream of, wouldn't that be sweet? A nice community.
That
We
would-
don't have to be dealing with this stuff. Yeah.
So before we go, I was wondering if you guys wanted to hear the dream about when I was in Russia. I just had a memory, a dream, 4 days ago.
All right.
Because I went to bed thinking, why am I banned in Russia? Right? And I guess a lot of people are, I don't know. And I went to bed, I went to sleep. And next thing I know, I'm sitting next to this guy that he reminded me of a Draco. So he had like a light blue button down short sleeve with like little white lines, kind of like checkered. He had blue eyes, brown hair down past his ears, white, very tall. Like I said, he was sitting down and he was holding something like a device. He was trying to scare me. I had my son and my daughter in this scenario too. He said, watch, I'm gonna have you look into my eyes, because he wanted to scare me. He wanted to show me who he was.
Yeah.
Right before he did that, because they do hypnotize, okay, if you let them. Right before that, I shielded myself and I projected a dragon onto him, so that I wouldn't be scared or controlled. His eyes, when he was trying to hypnotize me in this dream, his blue eyes turned into like lighter blue, and then around it had skulls, like skull and bones going around it. And then he started turning into like a skeleton, like real ugly. And then he started getting black stuff out of his throat. And I'm like, what the hell? And I took my kids and I got out of there. Then I saw a black and really black and like maybe purple hippopotamus on a table. I'm like, what are they gonna do to this thing? You know, but the person there had told me, hey, you can come in, because I was trying to leave, but I went somewhere. And the girl said, come in, but there's bodies on the floor. Bodies on the floor. Okay, so they were covered bodies. They had covered themselves, right? And then I was going outside, and right before I was going outside, it's kind of like Asian guys started talking. The bodies weren't dead. They were talking, and then I saw a bunch of children's things. And these guys were Asian. A lot of children's just toys, clothes, and I'm like, these mother effers are taking the children to Russia. Okay, that's what I realized. And right before I woke up, my son and we were on a marsh, dark waters. There's something going on in Russia with dark waters, black rock. I know it.
Right.
And I woke up and I'm like, well, oh shoot, before I woke up and before the marsh, I looked at myself in the mirror, and we were getting ready to go like on an airplane. And the black stuff was coming out of my throat. So my son's like, what is that in the dream? And I said, they're spraying something in Russia that's black. And you know what it is. It's the baby Jabberwock. But I figured out that not only just what's going on
Right.
with their quote unquote wannabe remedy, but they're also throwing, giving something in the air.
Over the tribal nations too that I was talking about earlier, because those were targeted with that same spraying that you're talking about.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I got videos of it. Yeah. Yeah.
The tribal nations I was talking about earlier, because they're a separate community, but they were sprayed as well, like you're saying is going on.
Right. Right. They've been doing it so frequently lately. I want to show you, first of all, the masks that I've been talking about too.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes, it is.
This guy.
goodness.
Look at this guy. That's who's Emma keeps lifting up as the greatest guy in the world to follow, and women should come to him.
And anybody who's seen a
Like a
demon knows
cancer
what a demon
patient.
is. No ears, thin skin, no nose,
There it is.
no lips. That's demon. I mean, that's what I see attack me. So
Okay,
I know what those things are.
that also
Skinnier
looks
faces.
like it's like a gray. He looks like a
Yeah.
gray alien too.
Yeah, that's
That's
how he presents
trying
himself.
to be like.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Isn't that
The
something?
bottom picture with the no ears and no nose kind of look like a demon
Right.
to me.
Yeah. And every single video of me and her, she has struck for them. Every single video.
Oh, I saw one of those videos.
Yeah, she struck them all. She struck them all without telling me after the attack on my son with his birthday. After she told me to send followers her way. So she was not what I thought. And now her people are attacking all the time, constantly attacking.
Mm,
You know, I even
yeah.
subscribed to her channel because you were on there. Just because,
Yeah,
well, now
yeah.
I'm gonna block her.
Oh, yeah, definitely get off it.
Oh
She
my
also
goodness.
sent me this guy. She purposely had me talk to this guy named who claims the Hunger Games.
Oh
And
my.
the Hunger Games is from my script. So I thought, okay, this will be good to talk to. He never ever talked to me. So she was signaling me throughout
They're
everything.
trying to steal your, well, they're trying to steal
Yeah.
your.
Wow.
Yeah, this goes on. And there's so many videos. Like here's another one. And she played me. She played me. I thought she was naive and innocent. Played me the whole time. Every one of them
Easy
are
to do
gone.
over a video. It's almost like being in a car and having car rage. These people got all this guts and courage while they're behind their camera that,
Yeah.
come step in
Yeah.
front of my face.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
I'm not,
Well, they kind of want us to attack, so I'm not going to say I'm going to attack, but mhm.
Well, no, we're just speaking as it is. That's how it is. And that I get roped in for so long
Okay.
and told people, yeah,
yeah, I'm not on her channel. I got off of the subscription.
that's good.
Anyway, so
right.
anything you guys want to say before we go?
Yeah, I want to talk to find out with Tom just before we go, because I was telling him like I don't know what it is, but I just had a suspicion this is it for a little while for some reason. I know you're going to be doing a vacation and some camping, Veronica, and
Oh,
so we'll see what.
for our next show,
Yeah.
we could do it the second week of November.
Okay.
Or the
And we'll see how you're feeling and what's
Yeah.
going on, and then we'll plan for that. But I did want to like really get a solid coordinates for Tom, because I realize you say your page a lot and stuff, and I'm like, well, gosh, what is his page? So then I tried to figure it out, and I realized maybe you're talking about Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
And
yeah, that's
is
been
it Twitter?
about
So I joined Twitter. I didn't join. I just had to reopen
right.
it, and I went back in there and I joined your page because I'm like, this is where Tom's posting everything. This is because I watched your Facebook account. I got on Facebook so I could follow you.
Right.
And then and I know you have a website coming up.
Yeah. The Real Neo
Okay.
Story. Yeah, the Real Neo Story. So
is that what the website's going to be
that's
called?
what it's called. Yeah, it's three parts of the 7 parts done, and it's called the Real Neo Story.
The Real Neo Story. Okay, and we can find updates on that on Twitter and follow your actions on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's
And that's
where
where
the
we find you.
battleground is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm curious too, because I've told you I want to do some scripting, and I always thought of I want to do like a book, but then I kind of want to not movie. I want to do playwright. But my higher self made it very clear to me I'm going to require training. Like you're going to need some, you're going to have to learn something about how to do it. So I hear that you're doing classes, and I'm interested to know what those classes are, or
well, that comes
if they have anything to do.
What if we all got together and we do the shots you're talking about, and I'll go over playwriting with you personally. So I'd be happy to, or both of you. I'd be happy to show you guys. And it'd be kind of cool to get the shots done you're talking about, go over that. It's very easy to go over the concepts. So
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I assumed. I was like, this isn't going to be, but I can figure it out on my own just by looking at your script. Once you start to, because I believe you said they called it Fake It, and so you're going to start or posting some of the pages on the new website of the script and releasing that.
Yeah, we're going to be like, especially the main scenes that just like they really delved into. So we're going to put those up and show you how they overlap, really. Just unbelievable how they just lifted everything right out.
I did post, you know, the pictures like that you sent me, Tom, I did post them on Telegram and then on some on Facebook, but see, there's two Facebooks that I have. One
Okay.
is Codebreaker Real Talk and the other one is for my junk journal book. So what I'm going, I am on Twitter, so what I'm planning on doing after this episode goes up to YouTube, it's gonna be number 13. I'm just gonna share, because I made a playlist of Tom Althouse on the Codebreaker Real Talk, and then I'm just gonna share it to the Twitter and then the Facebook Codebreaker Real Talk, and then of course the Instagram Codebreaker Real Talk. That way you can, you know, when you're ready, post the real Neo story.
Yeah.
Althouse and the classes as well. Now, yes, I can do another show before the major surgery, and
Okay.
then we can get together then.
Good. Well, text me when that will be. That'd be great.
Okay.
And we'll figure out, yeah, we can get together too, when we can have a visit all in person. And I love your concepts of shots too. Chad's talking about, it just sounds brilliant. That'd be beautiful. Get
So
that
the
going.
chats, what are they, Chad, again? So for the public to know, what are those?
Unless you want to keep it.
I know you say to give out your concepts, but I am like,
Don't give it then. Don't give
Oh,
it then.
no,
I'm
never mind.
hard to give out my concepts to
Don't
these
give it up.
people
Don't give it up.
because
We'll save it. We'll
they
save
wanna
it.
know.
We'll save it.
I don't
We'll save
want
it.
them to know
Let's make it a
shit.
surprise. Make it a surprise. All right. Sounds good. It's gonna be a surprise. I didn't know we were still on the air, so it's perfect. Okay, good.
That's why I'm laughing, because Chad is like, I ain't letting them know shit.
I love it. He's like a solid. There's no way to get past it. So it's good.
I love you guys. Well, thank you. I will stop recording now. Thanks everyone for listening. See you soon. Bye.